I mean, already looking at this reading, I'm already getting this kind of, and this very interesting vibe of going into the self and loving yourself, loving the other person from through loving yourself. It's very interesting, right? Um, Keep an open mind does suggest that your soulmate may differ from your usual expectations and type, which does talk about you having to be open minded and open hearted, right? And the King of Cups, he's emotion based, right? He or she, because this is a general reading for as many people out that can, yeah, need this message here. The King of Cups is emotionally, invested to situations. He's not tied by, physical stuff. He's not tied by what things look like. He's all about how the person makes him feel. And the situation that we got going on here does kind of reflect on, how does this person make you feel? Does this person make you feel happy? Are you okay with this individual being in your life, right? How does this person make you feel, right? How do you feel about that person? It's not about what they look like, about what they have going on, what their careers are looking like, anything like that. Nothing physical, nothing practical. This is not a practical decision. And when it comes to love, there is no practicality. But the whole theme for this reading is also talking about being emotionally open, being open to, and to a person that could definitely bring you happiness, but they may not have the aspects that you usually go for, right? You may have things that are different than your usual type, and for some of you that's a relief. Some of you guys, it's like, I don't know about that, because I do like what the people I go after. It's just that I've been having some flukes. Okay, well, this is not this is love, right? Love doesn't have a look or a label um, or a condition. For instance, we're technically still in Aquarius season. When I post these things out, we're in Aquarius season. Then when we go, then Tuesday, then we enter Pisces season, and then that's when we get all kinds of weird. But even then, we can't even be specific with Pisces season, because Piscean energy is not specific. It's not detail oriented. It's not practical. It's all emotional. It's all emotional based. It's all fantasy. It's all dreams. It's not real stuff that truly dictates how you feel. To put it into standards, right? And the situation that I see right now isn't just about connecting with you guys, connecting with this person from an emotional place. It's about starting something and planting the seed to actually having a relationship, getting started. So that said, let's go ahead and get started with this reading here. Since this is a general reading, go ahead and feel free to pick the side that resonates with y'all the most. Okay. Because I'm going to go ahead and start with this person on this side. So this person's mental space, right, the mental plane that they've got going on here is the Two of Wands going into the relationship, right? So how they're thinking of this is that they have to make a decision about which path they're going to take. How are they going to progress in the relationship? What is there to do? This person has a lot of thinking to do in regards to which steps they're going to be taking, right? The crazy part is that there's not really much to overthink. They just realize that where they're going in this relationship is at a crossroads. They can't continue to go the way that they've been going, right? And it looks like this relationship for this person is freaking brand new. One of the things I love about these cards is how it's so contrasting, and it's so many different colors, so many different different lights that are coming up, right? This person's showing up as light energy, and it's interesting because most of these cards are really representing the beginning of a situation, right? This is the Fool, this is the Three of Wands, and this is the Two of Wands. Light energy, and of course, right, it's innocence. I feel like this light energy is coming up as innocence. It's this, a fresh new start, birth, right? Something that's light and beautiful about it. And when we get to this side here, this is pretty much the opposite end of the pendulum, right? We're getting heavier, we're getting denser in the progress, right? This is 5 to 10. This is on the other side. This is the matured aspect of it. And this person is showing nice, it's beautiful, right? Innocent, probably a bit naive, but not in the sense of like, this person doesn't know what they're doing. More of like, they're just showing lots of youthful energy, lots of lots of spirit that can create beautiful things. Well, this person has matured, become a little more rigid, and you can tell by the way that the opposite end is looking. And they even have cards that support this. Okay, like they're struggling with having to learn a different way of going about life, about going about love, because of course, right? This is about coming from a heart space, not from a practical space. So This person already knows that they're having to make a decision about how they're going to expand, not what they, who they want to be with, if this relationship is worth pursuing. No, this is strictly all about, how they're going to expand, how they're going to move forward with this, with their love life, right? But the other person is showing up here, the Five of Coins. And the Five of Pentacles is showing up here as a struggle, right? This person, I don't see this person as seeing this relationship as them being left out in the cold, but they definitely see that there's something lacking, and they're looking at it from a very practical perspective. I think they, for some reason, I'm not quite sure what they feel is lacking in the relationship at this moment. I'm going to definitely probably pull for this, but they don't see this relationship as something that's fulfilling them 100%. There's something that they feel like there's lacking. There's something that could be more in the relationship, I don't think they feel rejected. I do feel like maybe they have been rejected before, and this is kind of spilling into the relationship as kind of like some sort of, as a projection of their own situation. Because here are how they're presenting themselves to themselves, how they see themselves as the devil, stuck, trapped, not being able to do things, feeling disempowered in their situation. All right, they feel like they've got the rough end of the stick, to be honest. And with the devil showing up, it's like they constantly are in a situation where they're not always, they're not seeing this situation as a way to empower themselves. They kind of feel like this is happening to them. This could be better. This could be better. Yada, yada, yada. I'm going to go ahead and actually pull. Because what brought you two together is the Lovers, and this is totally opposite. The Lovers and the devil are two sides of the same coin. And it's interesting that you have the Ace of Coins as the card for the top, right? So it's funny. But it's funny because of the irony of these three cards together, right? Like I always say, Lovers and the Devils are two sides of the same coin, and you have a coin at the very top, and it's almost like like even though love is what brought you two together, accepting of the love, because that's what the Lovers is all about, accepting the love, accepting how you feel. Being just allowing that part of you to just be, not overthinking it, not coming up with reasons to shun that love or to disregard it. It's truly 100% accepting it. But it's the Ace of Pentacles that's giving you a challenge, starting a relationship with this, beginning something that's stable with this, doing something that can honestly last a long time. This could even be friendships here. Right? This could be like, hey, this person doesn't know if they have what it takes to push forward, but they're trying. But they're fighting also the devil. Okay, and the devil talks about, like I said, disempowerment. It talks about not feeling like you have a lot of power in a situation, like you don't have a lot of choices. It can feel like, it can feel like that because, of course, you always give up your power with the devil, right? You're always giving up your power. If you don't want to be with the devil, then you don't need to be. I don't know if I said the Tower several times, and that means something unexpected may be coming up. There's some reason that I said that, and I don't know why. But the Devil card coming up definitely does talk about feeling trapped in a certain pattern, in a certain behavior. Like there may be old behaviors that this person is, doing or partaking in because they're in a place of feeling they're in a place of lack at this moment. Why does this person think of their relationship as the Five of Coins? Because of the Knight of Wands. They're not having fun. There's a lack of passion. That's what they're realizing. Their lack of passion, lack of fun, lack of freedom. And the devil does, talk about, can talk about restriction, feeling restricted, not feeling like you have a lot of freedom. And the Lovers, that is all you have, space and time and practically, pretty much all the freedoms in the world. It's just pretty much like, with the devil, it's like you feel bound together, tied together. Not really in a bad way, like you just feel like you're attached, so you can't go without this person, But why is the devil coming up for this person's present? Why is this person showing up with the devil like this? Because of the Eight of Swords. Yeah. the old behaviors is going back into their thoughts, and not allowing themselves to, have the, not really allowing themselves, but they're just kind of stuck in the way that they think. They feel stuck. Their mind is stuck in a certain area, and that's kind of like where the devil's kind of excelling right now, because this person's not being able to like think clearly, see things clearly. They're all coming from a mental space. So they're disempowering themselves because they don't see the situation as an opportunity to be free, to be open. Like, this person is lacking some sort of freedom. Like, they want to be free, but they don't see that there is any freedom. And this freedom, I feel like the thing is like, this person sees a relationship as entrapping. That they don't see that this relationship can be something that's beautiful, and a entity that that they put time and effort into, as well as the other person, right? I think this person also feels like they may lose their identity with a relationship, because of the Eight of Swords coming up like that. Like, they just feel trapped. But with the Three of Wands coming up here with the other person, they're looking at the future. They're looking at what can come. What greatness can come from the effort that they put in, right? They're expecting greatness because they are putting in the effort towards greatness. I think they are still, they're manifesting the creation of their beautiful relationship, the relationship that they feel is beautiful here. Well, this person is feeling like, I don't know about this. I don't know if I could get back into a relationship. I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be trapped. I don't want to feel like I have to, stick to a certain routine every night or do this every day. I don't feel like having to, answer to anybody. And it's like, you still are an individual in a relationship. You still are you, regardless of whatever status you've got, whatever status you're in right now. And this person is feeling suffocated because because they feel like being tied to somebody may keep them from being able to, to grow as a person, right? But that's a burden that honestly they're carrying, that nobody else told them that was going to happen. Like, this is not the case. But this person that they're in with the Three of Wands, this is someone that's definitely looking towards, potentially great things in the future. Like, they're seeing, they're aspiring for greatness. They're manifesting, a good, manifesting good things for themselves, right? And they're just being patient. Like, it's almost like this person, again, I feel like this person, is having to make a decision about how they're going to progress, but they're still they're in the process of waiting for this other person, I think, because this person here is thinking, oh man, what about me? What about how I'm going to move forward? What about, everything that I usually do, right? Which things that probably didn't serve them anyway, but them being in a relationship would definitely have them not come out of it, right? Which may be, dealing with other people, third party situations, whatever. Being a player, whatever this person is, because this person isn't allowed to do the things that they would normally do in the moment, right? It's not like it's not like it's stabilizing. This person doesn't. I don't know if this person really wants to stabilize. I'm not going to speak for them and say that they don't, but I do believe that this person is having a hard time with the lack of freedom that they feel like they don't have. Well, lack of freedom that they feel like they don't have in a relationship. But even this is not true. Like, you can have the freedom that you want. And how this person is showing up in this energy, and then on this side here, is definitely seeing this opportunity as brand new, risk taking. Of course, they have to. They took a leap of faith with this. This person is definitely open to things, open to exploring and learning how relationship dynamics work for themselves, what boundaries they need to put up. This is something, like I said, very innocent energy coming from this individual here, starting fresh, starting new, and really open to growth at this point. Like, they're very open to it. However, like I said, this person's showing that they're rigid in a sense, not damaged goods. And I've had people call me like at my job, like, to get readings, right? Calling in readings, and I've had so many people call the other person damaged goods, and I feel like that's rude. Not just because that this person doesn't understand what the person's going through as their own spiritual journey, but like, these are people that they're goods, they're beautiful, they're gems, they're diamonds already, and because they are seeing their flaws, and they don't recognize that this person is a diamond, They're diamonds whenever they are meant to be diamonds. They're not diamonds now. They're not diamonds later. That's not up to that other person to consider them damaged goods, in my opinion. I feel like it's just too. That's just judgmental. And with this situation, I'm not going to say this person is damaged goods. They're going through some stuff that obviously had made them, that had definitely matured them in a way, but also anything that's obscured the point of view is causing this person to think and feel and to go in a direction that isn't really healthy. So they have the Ten of Wands as the reason as to why they're showing up as the devil, and why they see themselves as the devil, or why they see how the other person sees them, right? Going and behaving the old style way, right? Behaving the old way that they usually do, and thinking the way they think, which is the Five of Pentacles, is because they have the Ten of Wands. They have some burdens from a past situation that isn't honestly giving them the opportunity to break free. These burdens are keeping them from being able to start a new beginning. So that's why the Ace of Pentacles is a challenge right now, because settling down, starting something, committing to a new path, committing to a new beginning, starting and nurturing your new path, that is going to require you to drop the burdens. And this person, the reason why they're stuck like this, of course, like I say all the time, is that because there was a past experience that they had gone through. There was a cycle that they're completed, that they are trying to complete here, and they haven't truly let go of everything. They haven't truly let go of it, which is why they see the relationship the way they do, right? That's why they see the relationship as, restricting of their freedom, not having enough freedom, not having enough passion, getting very boring very fast, right? Or feeling like they're not able to be themselves, and they feel trapped in their relationship. So they may tend to do things that, old behaviors that don't really benefit them in the first place. And that very thing could be that they're stuck in their thoughts and not making moves and not taking action. And it has a lot to do with where they've been, right? Even though this person's ready to go, ready to open shop, this person's still closed for business, right? This person is still closed. And it's not because, the other person did anything. I feel like this has a lot to do with the past stuff that they've been through. So let's take a look at the Whispers of Love. See what you guys got. That's important to take a look, because I think this relationship that they've been in, they may have been suffocated at one point. They really may have been feeling like they couldn't be themselves. But the situation is that this person's totally different. They're not trying to hold you down, or this person's not trying to hold the other person down. Whichever side you resonate with. This is why this card is coming up. Keep an open mind, because of course, in the King of Cups is coming up. You have to open up your heart, and how you open up your heart, especially if you feel like, especially with this burdens here, there's definitely a blockage. There's definitely something that's not being able to be. It's not able to flow properly. Like, there's no flow with this person. Like, this person's holding grudges, and that's why the Justice card is coming up, and the Four of Swords, right? The Four of Swords and Justice is coming up, because I think this person does need to take a moment back, take a step back, and heal from that situation. Heal from whatever past situation that came up, that happened in the past. Because this ain't the situation now. This is totally different. This is somebody that's here trying to do something totally different. They're coming from a place of love and expansion. See? Like attracts like. Oh, wow. See? This is new love, guys. This is not someone that's going to hold you down and keep you from being able to be yourselves. And that holding of a grudge from the last relationship is going to create that same situation potentially in your future relationships. Because if this person, you don't feel like you can trust this other person, even though you've not been with them before, because I don't see like this as a reconciliation kind of energy. This is something that looks brand new. But you're still attached to an old relationship, which makes you feel like you have to go and do things based off of that old relationship when this is totally brand new. And you haven't completed the situation. You haven't completed the cycle, which is telling because of how you're acting, or how this person's acting, how this person's thinking. And it's not a bad thing. Like, it's not blame. It's not like, oh my God, you need to get it together. But it's like, it's understanding where you are. You're in a totally different plane right now, but you're still fighting the old battle. And that old battle needs to be put to rest by forgiving the person, putting, giving yourself peace of mind, and no longer allowing this old situation to dictate where your life is going to go from here on out. Not letting this old situation, not letting this past situation, taint your future ones. You know what I mean? You have a new beginning starting here, but you haven't allowed yourself the time to heal, to forgive the person, forgive yourself for the experiences and the situations you've been through, but also understanding that too, having boundaries that support you is the most important. It will help you going forward. And that's one of the things that we learn from experiences like that, is that we strengthen our boundaries, not too tight, but to the point where we can be, who we are, and we don't have to worry about people rejecting us because of who we are, right? Because they already know from the get-go, this is how I am. If you can't handle it, then it is what it is. There will always be somebody that comes and fills in that space if you open the door up to allowing the space to be filled with, of course, the right boundaries, not the boundaries that obviously let the last person come in and do whatever they did to you that makes you feel so, feel so burdened. But like attracts like says, if you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving, and that means this person definitely needs a lot of self-love. Needs to take some time out for themselves and really love on themselves and really forgive the past and really make space for something new. And I know this person's ready to go and ready to start something brand new, but this person's still fighting an old fight here. They're still not done with the chapter that they're on, the chapter that they're in. And even though that they've connected in such a powerful way with you, I think that they're still hung up from the past. It's delayed because this person hasn't gotten over whatever happened here.